Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So last we spoke yesterday, right as we started TMZ Live, we got
Paris Hilton and her $350,000 oops. Who just leaves a $350,000 piece of jewelry laying around?
Somebody worth a couple $100 million.
Yeah, I guess. Paris Hilton did, and luckily for her, a firefighter. This happened in Poland. A firefighter in a very small town in Poland stepped in a small airport in Poland, stepped in and saved the day. He's a hero. Found her ring and returned it.
Well, it's kind of a weird story. So we first heard about this. It was described that a firefighter found the ring on a shuttle at the airport, then went to the, he thought it maybe belonged to somebody that worked at the airport, like a flight attendant. And once he figured out that it didn't, he, at some later part of, a couple of days or hours, he saw it on TV. He saw
Paris Hilton wearing a ring on TV at some point later and said, oh, that must be Paris's ring, and suddenly he decides, oh, I'm going to contact Paris and give her the ring back.
Right. Which sounds sketchy because, number one, why would he take it home? Why would he wait to see it on TV to give it back?
And who's looking at Paris Hilton's finger when you're watching TV?
Exactly. If you look at the ring,
size of that ring?
Yeah, if you look at the ring, I can see that because it's kind of odd. It's gigantic.
And Paris had just been in town, right? She was doing a
you're not going to look at her
event.
finger. But let's assume he did.
Right.
The intimation here is maybe he wasn't going to give it back, and maybe he assumed, oh, I'm going to get a big reward since it's Paris Hilton's, and then he came forward.
Whose intimation is that?
Well, I'm just saying it's a rereasonable inference based on what women. He's watching TV and he does it sometime later.
If you don't believe that he was just had goodwill
well,
in his heart.
they changed the story, so the airport person changed the story.
Yeah, I actually talked to the spokesperson for the airport, and they said, well, here's what really happened. And I don't know if the story changed later on or this is what always had happened, but she said that he found it in an SUV that takes Paris to her jet on the runway, private jet from the front of the airport. And once it was found, that firefighter went to the owner of the SUV and said, is this yours? They said no, and it's a small enough airport that the employees all know each other. So he didn't take it to lost and found. He just said, hey, everybody, start asking about this ring and see if anyone knows.
Who says, hey, everybody at an airport? They're all over the place.
It's at a small, tiny airport. It's like, it's in Lotz. Like, this is not...
Lotz has 1 million people.
Somebody said, oh, Fashion Week said they were missing a ring. So 3 hours later, they said he gave it to the Fashion Week security who gave it back to Paris.
I'm surprised he even brought it up because if you look at the ring, it's this huge ring that kind of just looks like costume jewelry. It doesn't look like it would cost more than $10 at, downtown LA.
Which then begs the question, why the hell did Paris buy a ring that looks like it cost $10?
By the way, I was thinking about this, Harvey, when we worked on the burglar bunch.
Seriously.
Half of her jewelry, when all that stuff was stolen from her, was fake.
Well, that's
half was fake, half was real.
But this one's real. The same. I know, but this is real.
I
and
know.
It's 300.
Well, and by the way, I did speak to Paris's people.
Are they giving a reward?
Yeah, she is so pumped. She got that ring back. She's not only going to give him an award, she's going to send gifts to his entire family.
How much is she giving him?
Unclear. Yeah, there's tax problems. you don't talk about that kind of stuff.
You don't want to let people know exactly how much you're giving away.
Hi, this is Anthony Holloway from Philadelphia. She needs to give some money to the fire department. It's over $250,000 for a ring. She's lucky that she got it back.
She's lucky. Extremely lucky. Look, I just one other question. What's the firefighter doing in that SUV that's taken her from private jet to here in there?
Good question.
Anyone?
That's a good question. I chalked it up as, remember the whole small airport thing? I thought maybe the firefighter's also the chauffeur who also may be the...
Dude, I'm telling you, there's something weird about this.
I think he does a lot of jobs.
Okay. We are going to
Boy, you're not going to rest until you tear apart
We're going to... No, I'm not.
Polish airport so you can find out.
We are going to take a break.
When we come back, all hail Tom Brady. Nothing sticks to this guy. The big news, he is... won his battle with the NFL, his 4-game suspension overturned, but not everyone is happy about this. We're going to have Snoop Dogg when we come back, who is livid that Tom got off the hook. Welcome back to TMZ Live. Tom Brady is on top again. You know that Tom Brady was supposed to be serving his 4 games.
Don't say it with such, disdain.
I just listen, and actually, I'm actually a Tom Brady fan. I generally speaking, but he got his 4-game suspension. He was supposed to serve 4 games for that whole Deflategate thing back in January. But it's been overturned now.
Overturned because Roger Goodell, at least according to the judge, it seems, screwed up. And, Roger Goodell seems to be, living on excess. Either he's too lenient or too tough. And I think the judge, at least the way I see this thing, is saying, you got to play in the middle, man. And Tom Brady was not given the rights he had in terms of cross-examination in this whole Deflategate thing and whatnot. And the judge is saying, sorry, you had your chance of doing it right, you did it wrong, and we're overturning it, which is extraordinary.
Huge loss for the NFL. I mean, Roger Goodell has egg all over his face here, and this has been dragged on all year, and it's against the face of the NFL, arguably, Tom Brady. And you lost.
Can I give you my theory on this?
You lost to a superstar, and a lot of people feel
let's cut to the crap, though. The question that everybody wants to know about this is, do you think he's going to get fired for this, Charles?
No. Goodell will not get fired.
Yeah, he's making too much money.
But here's why: because Goodell's boss, the only people who can fire Goodell are the owners.
Right, the guys who want him there.
And so if he's not going to get fired, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter then.
Well, I'll tell you why it matters. Because to me, this all goes back to Ray Rice. And that when it came out that Ray Rice got a slap on the wrist for what he did, then, everybody criticized Goodell. So what he did was he went the other direction and then just nailed Brady with something he probably wouldn't have done more than a year ago. So, it's almost like you got to figure out if you're not going to be a paper tiger, you got to figure out how to appropriately punish players.
It matters in the sense that's true, Harvey. It matters in the sense that before this, anything that Goodell would say was just considered to be law and final, and these guys accepted every punishment that they got. Now, it looks like there's a little bit of a crack of light to get out of what he says is going to happen.
At least if you're as
Brady, boom, he ran through.
At least if you're as good looking as Tom Brady.
Guess who's not happy about this?
Snoop Dogg is not happy at all. He says there's been, well, I'll let Snoop say it, but it sounds like he's saying Goodell is guilty of favoritism.
Yeah, the NFL overturned Brady. I can't do nothing but smoke. That's you might as well overturn all the homies that got weed cases in the league, too. If y'all gonna do that, keep it real.
Yeah, what he's talking specifically about, Snoop is a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, huge Steelers fan. And the starting running back for the Steelers is Le'Veon Bell, who's going to be missing the first 2 games because he was suspended for a weed arrest.
For weed, and also, so one of the receivers also got suspended.
Here's the
So
problem.
he's making
he's
a racial thing, number one.
Yeah, because Le'Veon Bell was arrested for marijuana, accused of I think he was charged with
Yeah, but you know what?
A criminal offense.
I'm going to take Snoop's side on this thing because I understand that he's saying something, and this is not Goodell doing it; it's the judge doing it. But I think he is kind of saying that that Deflategate, if Brady was involved in this, is way more serious than weed.
Deflategate goes to the game. Deflategate
it goes to the essence of the game.
The integrity of the game.
Snoop is wrong on the facts of his point, but the emotion of his point rings true. The fact of the matter is, it seemed like Tom Brady and the Patriots, really, who broke the rules of the NFL and gained a competitive advantage, weren't penalized for it at all when you have guys getting the letter of the law for much lesser things.
What he should be arguing is the fact that you can't be punishing guys for marijuana these days. It's legal in states. Come on.
They got glaucoma, man.
For a game that was
why?
Because
anyway, but you know why I dragged out this long? Because it's a media superstar. Right. It's a juicy story. It's sexy. It's this and that.
The ironic thing here is that one of Goodell's biggest allies, as far as the owners, is Robert Kraft.
Interesting.
And he's going toe-to-toe with him.
Interesting. Okay, that's actually really interesting and frightening.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break.
All right, when we come back, Judge Joe Brown wins a huge victory. You know that he got out of jail after serving a 5-day sentence, but now he has won the case that landed him in jail in the first place.
And he is saying that this is absolute proof of unbelievable racism in the courts in Tennessee.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Judge Joe Brown said he would do it again. He would go to jail for a cause that he believes in. And it seems like it worked because he got enough attention for this case, I think, by going to jail for 5 days, that now he's emerged victorious. His client has been exonerated in court.
And he is just screaming racism here. And this was a huge victory for Joe. We finally found out we got to the bottom of what really happened here, and it really is pretty much a shocking story. So we know that there is a woman that he was representing who was married. I didn't tell you this part. I didn't even put this in the post.
Right. She was married to someone else.
For 30 years.
Right.
And all of a sudden, this guy comes along and says,
separate guy, not her, other than the person she's married to.
A separate guy says, I had a baby with you, and I want child support from you. And she's like, what do you mean? I never had a baby with you.
Have a baby with you. You think she would remember having a baby?
That's right. And by the way, it would be her. And so he framed her, just framed her. And so she then hires Joe Brown, and Joe Brown is trying to get this thing dismissed. She ends up going, there's an arrest warrant out for her, and he is trying to explain to the courts, this is a bogus case. She's an African-American woman, and he's trying to explain this is a bogus case, and he is getting, he says, the runaround in the court system in Tennessee, that they're not showing, the judges aren't showing up for hearings. What he said to me, I mean, I talked to Joe this morning, and he said that this judge is like an 8th grade dropout with, you know, and not really a judge, but a lawyer, and he was just going railing on this judge.
Referee is what he called it.
Right. And ultimately, Brown walked into court, and the referee says, sorry, we don't have this case. We have no record of the case. And Brown just goes crazy and says, this is outrageous. This is racism. And the judge says, you got 1 day in jail. You got 2 days in jail.
His racism claim didn't come out of, you know, just thin air. Judge Joe Brown says that there was actually, the Justice Department did a study and found that there were a lot of cases of racism, what they saw as racism
in that county,
in Shelby County.
And so then now the whole case against this woman has been dismissed. And Brown is saying,
obviously, because they would figure out she doesn't have a baby. By the way, no. Not only not her kid.
There's no kid.
There is no kid.
There's no kid.
It was just a figment of this guy just made it up.
Made up a kid. There was no kid. And it's crazy.
Well, is there any better commercial or whatever for future clients for Joe being a lawyer that he will literally go to jail?
I'll
for
go
his
to
clients?
jail for you. Yeah.
You know what? It's absolutely true. And remember, I mean, he kind of compared himself a little bit to Nelson Mandela by saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm fighting for racial equality." And you know what? He made his point.
Mini Mandela.
Very mini.
Hi guys, my name is Ron Rafael. I'm calling from Miami, Florida.
Hey Ron.
The other day when I heard that Judge Joey Brown was arrested, I was in shock because, you know, I'm a big fan. I always watch on TV here in Miami on CBC News. I always watch his judge scores. I watch Judge Doody, Judge Mathis, and I'm a big fan of Judge Joey Brown.
And we're all free now, by the way.
What about People's Court?
Yeah, what about People's Court? What the hell?
I like it too. I like the judge.
He just ran out every judge show except yours.
Yeah, and then today when I heard that he was free, I was like so happy. I jumped right here in my balcony. I was like so happy.
Ron, you're in Judge Marilyn Million's backyard.
Yeah, that's her
You're in Miami. Support Maryland.
Yeah, I know. I'm a big fan of those judges.
Yeah, those judges. We're going to take a break.
Okay, when we come back, Tori Spelling is going to be in front of a judge. That's her plan. She has now sued Benihana because she got some very serious burns.
This is really serious.
When she fell down in one of the restaurants, and you know where they fry up all the rice, or on the hibachi grill?
They fried up her arm. Okay, we're going to take a break.
When we come back, Jessica Alba looks hot in just about everything she wears. But guess what? There is one thing that
she looks awful in.
She just looks awful, maybe even terrifying. I don't even know what that meant. Welcome back to TMZ Live. So Jessica Alba, we have seen ad nauseum photos of her looking phenomenal in bikinis. It's what she does. She's a beautiful woman, right? What could she possibly put on that makes her ugly? We just found out, I think.
We found it.
Yeah.
This took a lot of searching, but Inspector Dax found it.
She posted a photo of herself. It looks like she's a cyborg. She's got this weird mask thing on, and it's like lighting up pink. And apparently this is supposed to help rejuvenate your skin with this red light. I don't really know much about it. Everyone in the room seemed to know about it, except for me this morning. But it like helps your skin cells rejuvenate and helps with acne.
I would like to recast my vote.
What?
I think she looks pretty hot in that thing.
Seriously?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the lighting, or maybe it's the shoulders.
There's nothing sexy about this photo at all.
It's the shoulders.
When you look at the
eyes
mask,
look all creepy and weird. Like she literally looks like a robot.
You were 2 steps from necrophilia.
I don't. Lock me up then. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
We'll see you
She
next
looks
time.
good.